ABC 10 breaking news.
People across the area digging out as we enter a stretch of dangerous cold. Good afternoon. I'm Fred Shropshire.
And I'm Jacqueline London. Right now, city officials in Philadelphia are giving an update on the response to the winter storm. Let's listen in to Mayor Sherelle Parker.
Let me start by saying good afternoon to each of you. I want to thank you all so very much for being here. Let me start by affirming that we are joined by some of our intergovernmental partners here. Council Member Anthony Phillips, who represents the 9th District, where we are at the Dorothy Emanuel Recreation Center, is present. We also have Anthony Luker, and I want to say a special thank you to him and our Governor Josh Shapiro for all of their support and coordination during the storm. Philadelphia, I know you have a lot of questions about whether or not the city is open tomorrow. Are schools open? What about the courts? What about SEPTA? And all of those answers are going to be communicated to you this afternoon. We are assembling here in Northwest Philadelphia, where we will speak specifically to residents' concerns about street clearing operations across the city of Philadelphia. To those Philadelphians who have worked with us and adhered to all of the guidance and advice that the subject matter experts have provided, I want to say thank you to you, Philadelphia, for that support. You're going to hear from our director, Carlton Williams, who has done an amazing job leading us through this very challenging time. But I want to give you a broader update right now. Since we met on Sunday morning, the Philadelphia region has experienced approximately 9.1 inches of total snowfall, along with sleet, ice, and freezing rain, and all of this within a span of less than 12 hours. That's the most snow that we've experienced in Philadelphia in 10 years. And through it all, it's important for us to affirm that we can report that our One Philly response that you've heard me respond to quite often, it keeps going in the right direction, even right now, as we work very hard to get the city closer to normal operations. Since Sunday, the amazing men and women of our streets department and all of our crews, they have been working nonstop, including melting nearly, and Director Williams, I thought this was a typo. Joe said, no, it's not a typo. But the men and women of our streets department, they have been working hard, and they've melted nearly 900 tons of snow in 10 hours using a state-of-the-art melting machine. And Commissioner Del Rossi, I think this is important for us to give you and your team an amazing round of applause. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And to the men and women on the ground doing the work, we wouldn't be here without you. And when you talk about that motion, Philadelphia's motion at this moment, I want you to know that despite hundreds of flight cancellations and delays, our Philadelphia International Airport has remained open throughout the storm to fully service travelers and visitors. So our airport never closed. I also want to shout out our first responders, including the 311 and 911 operators who have kept calls and made sure that they answered them, and that their teams have been responding continuously, and they did it without delay. 311 and 911, we see you, and you're on the front line, and we want to say thank you. When I say that Philadelphia has the best municipal workforce in the nation, their actions from the beginning of this storm and throughout it prove that statement to be true. And we are all very proud of them. So let's get right now to what's new. First, our snow emergency, which has been in effect since 9 p.m. on Saturday. That's when we started. Despite the tireless work involved in our intergovernmental response, we are not out of the woods. Philadelphia, and we are not claiming victory at all right now. That is why the snow emergency will continue until further notice. What does this mean for Philadelphia? It means that our city offices will remain closed on Tuesday. So will the city courts. So the question we've been getting a lot of calls about is, will the city of Philadelphia formally and officially open for business tomorrow? And what about our courts? We've been in constant communication with the leadership at the 1st Judicial District, and the answer is the city and the courts are both closed tomorrow. And you're going to hear further status updates from the interagency that's assembled here with me today. But here's what we need from citizens to help. Despite the snow emergency, Philadelphia, not all of you, but some of you, continue to park on those critical routes. We've had to tow nearly 350 vehicles since Sunday alone. We don't want to tow vehicles, so please help us. Why? Because this slows down our response, and it delays us from being able to clear this emergency. And your help today, it will make it easier for all of us. If you believe that your vehicle was towed from a snow emergency route, you can call 215-686-SNOW. 215-686-SNOW or 215-686. The numbers are 7669 for information on how to retrieve it. We also want to remind residents and businesses that we need their help in helping to keep their sidewalks and streets safe. Residents and business owners are required to remove snow from their sidewalks within 6 hours after snowfall stops, and to clear a path that is at least 36 inches wide to allow for safe passage for our pedestrians. Where do the requirements come from? And why are they in existence? They are in existence to ensure safety and accessibility, and we want you to know that continued non-compliance with those rules and regs will result in fines. So please adhere to the policies. Also, please do not, and I just saw this, Director Williams, when we were coming up Missioner Avenue and Councilmember Phillips, please do not shovel or sweep snow into the street, as it creates hazards and it slows down our snow removal efforts. So I know you're trying to get out, but we did see some people sort of responsibly trying to create a pile in front of or directly behind and not putting it in the street. And for Philadelphians who have done that, thank you so much. Now that the storm has passed, we are facing several days of bitter cold temperatures ahead. That's why we say we can't claim victory. And with overnight lows expected to drop into the single digits for at least the remainder of this week, I want you to know that these conditions bring their own sets of challenges, and you're going to hear today how we are planning to address them from the officials who are assembled here with me. Now, while Dom and his team, who have also done an amazing job, they have informed us that the heaviest precipitation is behind us, travel conditions remain difficult in some areas. So we continue to urge residents to stay off the roads if you do not have to travel. In addition to the snow operations, I want to note that our city teams are continuing to staff warming shelters, respond to 311, 911 calls, support utilities, and maintain essential city services across Philadelphia. Our teams have also been operating in an enhanced emergency posture under the code blue conditions since last Tuesday, providing additional support for our most vulnerable Philadelphians. And you're going to hear more details shortly about that ongoing operation from Deputy Managing Director Crystal Yates-Gale. But before we call her up, I want to tell you, because it's important to share with you in real time, what we mean when we describe this One Philly response. And Dom, thank you for the update. Last evening around, morning, it was 2 a.m. The Emergency Operations Center became aware of upwards of about 60 unhoused people on the street at several locations around the city. And this was discovered as requests for code blue transportation came in that clearly outmatched our warming center capacity and our emergency transport capacity. By 3:15, in under 90 minutes, our EOC staffers coordinated an action plan involving the police department, the fire department, the streets, parks and recreation, housing and human services to open up emergency shelter at the Lonnie Young Recreation Center in the 8th Councilmatic District. I want you to know that this included organizing a transport mission consisting of street plow trucks for the PPD and the Philadelphia Fire Department transport vehicles to retrieve people from each location to take them to Lonnie Young. And the Philadelphia Fire Department outreach, they stood by with the groups to ensure that their well-being was being addressed and taken care of until transportation arrived. I want to thank our Office of Emergency Management Director, Dominic Morales, for his leadership. He arrived on the scene at 5 a.m., they told me, Dom, and reported that everyone was warm and that they were resting. Why is this important for me to affirm? You see us, but there are a number of men and women who are doing this work in a One Philly manner to make sure that we take care of our most vulnerable people. And so they are the heroes, and their departments are represented here today. They include Dominic in the Office of Emergency Management, from the Streets Department. Is it Ray? What's his first name, Dom? It's Drew Ray from the Philadelphia Police Department. It's Captain Stephan and Captain Britt and Miss Chantel Brown and the officers assigned to support Lonnie Young. From the Philadelphia Fire Department, we have Captain Echeverry and numerous staff. They were out on the streets in units during this crisis, and they were Johnny on the spot. I'm so grateful. From Parks and Recreation, we had Doug Robinson. From the Office of Homeless Services, there was Christina Tolson. And from OEM on Dom's team, there was Vanessa Lehman, Alyssa Williams, Darrell Lucky, and Zarina Morton. I want you to know that your mayor sees you. I appreciate you, and we thank you on behalf of the city of Philadelphia for all you've done. Let's give them a huge round of applause. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are truly proud of their accomplishments. Philadelphia, what that taught us last night was, if you see someone outside who may be in distress and needs help, please call 215-232-1984. Again, that number is 215-232-1984. And if you need to access the resources via the internet, you can always visit phila.gov/getwarm. That's Phila, PHILA.gov/GETWARM. I want you to know that we're going to continue to keep the public informed through our usual communications channels, and we're going to share updates as the conditions evolve. Philadelphia, let's keep looking out for one another. Take care of your families and your neighbors. Follow the guidance we are sharing. We are getting through this storm and this aftermath together, and I promise you we're going to stay at this until we are confident that every neighborhood is in good shape. But please give our workers the grace that they need. When you all ask, well, what time and when? Again, it will take as long as it takes to make sure that we get to every block in the city of Philadelphia, and that's my promise to you. That's primary, secondary, and those tertiary streets. I now want to turn things over to Director Williams, and he's going to share some more about the operations.
Thank you, Mayor, and certainly always thank you for your leadership. We are still at it. We have been fighting the aftermath of Winter Storm Fern right now for about 3 straight days. Many of our employees have been fighting storms for the past 10 days because we had 2 very challenging storms the week before. And we continue to make those efforts to keep our streets safe and accessible. I had the opportunity today to tour neighborhoods. Today I was in the Northeast, and then I came over through North Philadelphia. Last night I was in South Philadelphia just to see the conditions of our neighborhoods, and I ended up here today. I wanted to make sure that what the mayor was telling everyone that we were committed to, which is those small residential streets, was actually happening. And so I was able to contact 2 of my crew members who are here today with me, Herbert and Kelly, who I worked with them all day long. They probably tired of me, but I learned some things, Mayor.
Did you? Okay.
I learned I learned how to be a spotter, right? I was going through and navigating left and right, and then I would also learn that how to lift up the plow, how to angle it, and all the things to get it away from the public in terms of parked cars. But I also learned something else about our citizens. They really appreciate the services we provide.
Wow.
And they can attest to the people who said, thank God you're here. I'm so happy to see you. They were saying praying hands and clapping for us. And Mayor, I will tell you, we ran into a couple of stuck cars. I had to get out and push. And also learned that I'm not that young no more, Mayor. I learned that too. But the appreciation that the public showed and displayed, the cooperation that they demonstrated shows how truly Philadelphians feel about our workers. And I just wanted to thank Kelly and Herbert, who's one of the baddest plow drivers that I ever seen. I don't want to hear about that. We can't get down the blacktop no more. I've seen it for myself. So they did a great job, and I want to thank you publicly. We continue to fight this storm and throw everything at it. Commissioner Del Rossi, Commissioner Shipman and team are continuing the operation. It is a lift, salt, and plow full deployment operation that is still in place. We are out with over 800 pieces. Now, you know we started with 600, but we increased the capacity, and I'll tell you what, the mayor talked about it earlier. We're about to hit a deep freeze, very cold temperatures. And so whatever we don't get could possibly freeze, and it makes it that much more difficult for us to plow frozen material. And so we're out there plowing and salting, and we got a little help from Mother Nature today with the sun. That's why you start to see the running water and blacktop streets. All of those things make a difference, but time is very critical. And so we continue to throw everything we can at this storm. And as the mayor stated, we do not have a timeline, but we're going to continue working through these very challenging circumstances. We're going to continue to widen lanes, push back plowed material so that our emergency routes can be open. And you heard the mayor say that the snow emergency will be lifted, so we are in pretty good shape. But those residential neighborhoods is something that we will continue to work through long after this storm has been closed out, because as she stated earlier, we want to make sure that every part of the city of Philadelphia is in safe and accessible areas. We'll continue to fight the snow throughout the evenings. We have lifting crews that are in tight neighborhoods as well. So South Philadelphia, North Philadelphia, parts of West Philadelphia, even Germantown, Frankfort, Northeast. We have lifting sets up in those locations, still pulling that material out, taking it to several locations. I want to thank Dr. Watlington and his team from the Philadelphia School District providing us access. Oz Hill was around here. I saw him earlier. PGW, PIDC, Department of Public Property, Joe Brasky and our team, they continue to provide access so that we can get those snow piles out of the way, because once they freeze, they would also be challenging, and we don't want to block access to sidewalks and walkways, or even, making it difficult for cars that have blind spots when they see around those areas. So we are working tirelessly to try to address the details of those issues. You may see the streets open. I want to encourage the public again. I'm going to reiterate some of the things that our mayor said. I did witness people throwing snow into the street. That will freeze. That will cause a problem. So we are asking the public, again, please be courteous, not only to our workers, but to all of the people that are out there, because that could create a hazardous condition for everyone. We're asking people, of course, to shovel their walkways 36 inches. It should have been done right now. The storm is over, but I've still seen some areas that need to be addressed. We will be sending sweep officers and sweep enforcement to those locations to issue tickets for those who have not shoveled their walkway. So be prepared and get out there, and let's get those walkways open. If you, again, reiterate the part about staying out of the streets, if you don't have to travel outside, make sure you exercise extreme caution. Those things are extremely important. And again, be good neighbors. I've seen people helping each other, plow each other out. You saw the true spirit of Philadelphia today. They was helping each other. They certainly appreciated us helping them get out of stuck places. But often I think we're making good progress, Mayor. We still have a ways to go, but we're going to continue to fight this storm until, as you stated, that it gets back to our original conditions in the city of Philadelphia and it's safe and accessible for all. Thank you so much. There was one other item that I needed to talk about. I'm sorry. 311 complaints. So the map that you see, Mayor, you can stand right over here, Mayor. The map that you see right here to the left, we are, even though we're not addressing individual complaints at this time, we won't do that until after the storm. However, as you can see by this map, we do track complaints that come in, and that data is very important to us because now we know where the problem spots in the city of Philadelphia is located.
So
we can
Director, this says 1,032. Is this the number?
That is the number of complaints that we've received as of 1/26 at 2:40 p.m. We get that GIS data from 311 and we put it into a map, and we're able to distribute it to our crews while they're out working. They pick up these complaints and they service them. So that is how we are working to address them. Now, after the storm closes, we will follow up on individual complaints directly. But while we're working, this data is so important to us, we can now give it to crews and say we still have some problem locations. So the public is helping us locate where problem locations are. So we're going to continue that effort. We're going to definitely make sure we want our public to tell us where those problem locations are. And when the program or the official event closes out and we're stopping the official cleanup service, these are the complaints that we will continue to address.
Thank you for this, Director Williams, because Philadelphia, this shows you that 311 is working.
Absolutely.
You know, every red dot indicates a call from you, and everything is in queue. So thank you, and thank
You're
you
welcome.
to the 311 employees.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So being the city's emergency management coordinator, sometimes I get a lot of, I don't like to see your name on my phone, get called Chicken Little a little bit. And so why I'm very glad with the progress and proud of the teams, the municipal teams in particular, that have got us to where we are today so quickly. and with such impressive amounts out of the last 10 years, I got to keep it real. So the extreme weather concern still exists. You heard the mayor talk about the very bitter cold that remains. Over the next 6 days, minimum temperatures are 1 to 10 degrees, and the wind chills, what it feels like, are -2 to 7 degrees, the minimum temperatures. This could likely extend into the first week of February. With the cold, there are a few hazards that are very important to prepare for. They include perhaps overload of our energy grid, our heating grid, and our water infrastructure. With temperatures dipping even further these next few days into the single digits, we expect higher demands on energy infrastructure to heat buildings, and we expect the cold could have impacts on water mains and even home pipes. It could even cause, actually it is causing ice to form on our creeks and along the Schuylkill and Delaware rivers. We saw it coming up the Schuylkill today. It's beautiful, but we'll talk about the hazards there in a second. So with this in mind, we're here today from the Office of Emergency Management to share a few key safety messages. First, to help reduce demand on the grid, you can do things like sealing drafts in your home to lower your thermostat even by a few degrees. You can also consider switching to more energy efficient items. Big purchases like refrigerators, yes, but even small things down like light bulbs can help lower that demand. And you can do things like try to do your laundry during off-peak hours, either before 7 a.m. or after 7 p.m. To prepare in the event that you do lose power, you do things like try to keep your devices charged and use flashlights instead of candles. You can keep some shelf-stable meals and snacks for everybody in your home, especially those who might be on special diets or babies who maybe need to switch to formula if you lose power. To prepare in case you were to lose water due to a water emergency, it's advised to keep 1 gallon of drinking water on hand per person per day. This could be little bottles, it could be gallon jugs, or it could even be as simple as keeping the pitcher in your refrigerator filled and your ice cube tray full at all times. Also, speaking of water, I said we're starting to see that ice on our waterways. You should never walk across a frozen stream or river. Anything with moving water underneath it. You cannot tell, and it is likely not stable enough for you to walk across. Now, thinking about our pets. Limit their time outdoors. Just like we get cold, they get cold. Consider protective gear for them. Inside, use a baby gate or another barrier to keep pets away from space heaters or fireplaces or other things you're using to keep warm. And make sure, just like food and water for us, you're counting your pets in that as well. Finally, you should always stay connected to information. You can find more information from the Office of Emergency Management's website at www.phila.gov/OEM, and you can sign up for those alerts that I've been telling you about every day, which is called Ready Philadelphia, the free emergency communication from the system. In a few minutes, we've asked a lot of you to prepare at home, and you'll hear from our water commissioner very specific ways that water department's preparing for the winter weather as well. But first, I'd like to introduce Dr. Watlington with the School District of Philadelphia.
Thank you, John.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, Madam Mayor. The safety and well-being of our students and staff is always our #1 priority in the School District of Philadelphia. To the greatest extent possible, we try to keep schools open for in-person learning as we work hard to accelerate student achievement. Given the conditions of the roads and the issues that the mayor and others have talked about, and out of an abundance of caution, all school offices and the district central office, the Dr. Constance E. Clayton Education Center, will be closed tomorrow, January 27th, as will our early childhood centers, etc. All after-school activities, including athletic programs and professional development sessions scheduled for Tuesday, are canceled. And in accordance with our inclement weather procedures and protocols, which can be found on our website at philasd.org, we are closely monitoring weather and conditions, and will work directly with the folks here today, and will communicate through standard channels in the coming days. All designated staff as essential personnel during inclement weather will be contacted by their supervisors with reporting instructions. And Madam Mayor, just a quick reminder that this year we built in 1 additional day beyond the 180 days of school required by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So tomorrow and any subsequent inclement weather days will be remote learning days. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Watlington.
So good afternoon, everybody. My name is Crystal Yates Gale. I'm going to provide an update on health and social service items. Again, let me remind you that we are in an enhanced Code Blue, and we expect to be that way through this week. Code Blue operations begin when we reach 32 degrees Fahrenheit or lower, or if the wind chill is 20 degrees Fahrenheit or lower. Enhanced Code Blue begins when we face those freezing temperatures for 3 days. We continue to operate warming centers at select libraries and recreation centers. They provide a warm space with water, snacks, blankets, and warming kits, along with medical and behavioral health services. So this is important to note. The map with locations and hours is updated in real time. We saw social media posts from accounts that are not official city channels that post locations that we have closed during this extreme emergency. We don't want people to show up and not be able to get relief because the location is not staffed and open. So those maps are updated in real time, and you can end the hours, locations, www.phila.gov/getwarm, one word. Please rely on official government websites, phone numbers, and information. Don't rely on social media sites for facts about city government operations. Now I want to pivot to the extreme and harsh temperatures we are experiencing. Philadelphians are not strangers to cold weather, but temperatures have not reached these freezing degrees for a long time, for a full week. We are not predicted to go above freezing until sometime next week, and this hasn't happened in 20 years. Humans are not meant to be outside in those conditions without proper protection. So everyone, from workers to children outside playing, remember, dress in layers to keep warm, protect your hands and feet with insulated and water-resistant materials, wear a hat because that's where we lose a lot of our body heat. Add a scarf over your nose and mouth to warm the air and when you're breathing into your lungs. If you can stay inside, please do. But if you don't have to stay inside, take breaks, especially if you're exerting yourself, shoveling your sidewalk, or cleaning your car. Also, know the signs of frostbite, which are numbness, white, pale, grayish, yellow skin that feels firm or waxy. Do not rub those areas. Get medical attention. And hypothermia, which can set in quickly in the temperatures we're experiencing and expecting. The symptoms are shivering, confusion, slurred speech, and exhaustion. Seek medical attention immediately if these signs of hypothermia appear, and recognize that hypothermia can lead to death. Call 911. If you need help, or you observe someone that needs help, remember, call Homeless Outreach at 215-232-1984 to get access to a warming center. Another important item. For this special weather event, we open 24-hour warming centers from 9 o'clock p.m. Saturday night until tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. We are not going to close warming centers. However, we are going to go back to our warming center operation. There will be day shifts at libraries, select libraries, and there will be night shifts at select recreation centers. We are going to run and continue our warming centers until these freezing conditions are over. One more time, you can access this location, maps, and hours. It's important. We have people show up at centers that are closed. www.phila.gov/getwarm. Also, remember to check on your neighbors who are vulnerable, especially seniors and those living alone with a disability. One of the things Director Williams said, he's riding around, he does still see sidewalks that are unshoveled. Some of those are your neighbors that can't shovel for themselves. You know who they are, we don't. Please help them. Stay safe, and thank you.
Benjamin Jewell, Water Commissioner. Thank you, Commissioner.
Good afternoon. My name is Ben Jewell. I'm Commissioner for the Philadelphia Water Department. As extreme cold temperatures continue to impact the region, the Water Department will remain in our enhanced operational posture. Due to the prolonged temperatures below freezing, we know water main breaks will occur. We ask that our residents, when they see a leak in the street, or if they have an interruption in their service, please call. You can reach us at 215-685-6300. Our staff are in the field working extended shifts to respond quickly and perform these repairs as quickly as we can. Please know that in order to repair a water main, we must shut off service to the impacted area. We will always try to restore service as quickly as possible. Additionally, we are continuing to man our 24/7 ice details at our drinking water plant intakes. These shifts are necessary to ensure that we are protecting the intakes from ice as it forms on the river that can reduce our ability to withdraw water from the river. We are also monitoring local river conditions and working with regional partners to better understand what's happening upstream, as upstream river conditions quickly become our conditions that we have to be prepared to respond for. I'd also like to take this moment just to thank our employees who are working very, very hard. There are over 2,000 water department employees. Many of them do their work right in front of your homes. Many of them do their work sight unseen, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. As we move forward into this weather pattern, their jobs are going to get harder, but they're going to work harder to serve the city of Philadelphia. It's an honor for me to be able to work for and with these members of our community, our neighbors, our friends, our family, and I just wanted to take the moment to say thank you to all of those people who are working for the city.
Scott here, Scott Sauer, our General Manager of SEPTA. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I appreciate it. And good afternoon. So SEPTA has been making steady progress throughout the day, of course, in very difficult conditions. So I'll tell you what's happening at the moment and what to expect on Tuesday. So on the bus network, we've returned 37 of our routes to full service. We expect the majority of routes to come back at the start of tomorrow's service day. We have been really working hand in hand with the Streets Department. They've done a fabulous job of prioritizing SEPTA's needs. SEPTA's needs happen to be part of your priorities as well. So getting our priority routes back in service for tomorrow morning. The good news is most of our metro service, this is our subways, trolleys, the suburban trolleys, many of them operated uninterrupted throughout the storm. Only the city trolley routes had a brief disruption last night, but they've all returned to service. So all the metro service is running presently and will continue to run tomorrow. We will make a decision, however, after 6 p.m. on the return of the trolley tunnel. We have certain provisions we have to put in place to get the tunnel back operational after the storm. Regional Rail is still working on restoration. It is still suspended. But we expect to return service tomorrow morning on a Saturday level schedule. This is in anticipation of any other issues we may find as we have crews out now inspecting all the lines. And we also have to return our train service employees tomorrow as well. The good news on that is we have not found any infrastructure related issues related to the storm that we have to address beforehand. So tomorrow, Tuesday, Regional Rail will be operating on a Saturday level schedule. We're also moving equipment around, getting it prepared to restore. And as far as all of our customer areas, parking lots, stations, crews continue to clear. Many of our lots have already been cleared. Many of our stations have been cleared throughout the storm. But if customers see conditions that are undesirable, please call SEPTA at our telephone. Our telephone customer service line is 215-580-7800. Let us know what you're seeing, and we'll make sure that we get to it. You can also look for all of our service changes and service patterns on our website at SEPTA.org or on the SEPTA app. Travel's been very light today as expected, with schools and many offices offering either closed or offering flexible options. We expect similar with the city's announcement and the school district's announcement, but we will get as much service as possible back for tomorrow for those who do have to return to somewhat normal travel. I also wanted to kind of call out SEPTA's employees. We've had hundreds of employees out making sure that service continued to the best that we could, making sure that surfaces were cleared in anticipation of returning customers, making it safe and reliable again for customers. So I always want to call out our employees doing a great job. And certainly for our customers, we appreciate your patience. We know you have things to do. We know you rely on SEPTA, and we want to be there for you. However, as you are traveling, just be sure that you dress appropriately, prepare for any possible delays. We don't want anyone getting hurt out there. One service I did want to call out before I leave the podium, our Access paratransit service. Our paratransit service and those customers typically rely on a little more service from our drivers. So we really need those customers to clear their walkways, clear their pathways, so that we can give you the assistance that you need when traveling. And paratransit service, of course, will return tomorrow morning with the start of service. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you so much, Scott. Commissioner Bethel? Okay. So Philadelphia, I just want a quick recap of what you've learned about essential operations. City of Philadelphia, along with the School District of Philadelphia and the court system, our first judicial district, they are closed tomorrow. You've got an update from SEPTA about their progress, and none of this works without the men and women who are on the ground helping us to get through it all. So we want to affirm them, but we also want to answer a question that we've gotten a lot of calls about, and that is trash pickup. So Director Williams, I'm going to ask you to come back up and give us an update about our trash pickup.
Thank you, Mayor. Due to the storm, our sanitation crews have been working extremely hard opening up our larger streets. We are, as a result of the snow emergency ending, and our streets are now accessible and safe for that larger equipment, not the residential, the larger equipment, we can now return back to our trash collection schedule. So we will be on a holiday schedule for the remainder of the week. So today's trash will be collected tomorrow. Recycling as well. Driveway collections are still suspended because of obvious reasons. We do not have access with that amount of snow, and those are not plowed. But we want to make sure that residents have opportunity to discard it. You can bring your trash out front, you can take it to a drop-off center, or you certainly can hold it to the next time and it becomes accessible in those areas. We also want to remind residents as well to ensure that they place trash out properly and give us a little patience because, as you know, it can be very difficult to even walk through this type of snow, let alone collect trash in it. So please give our sanitation workers a little courtesy and give them a little time to be able to navigate through some difficult weather circumstances. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you all so very much. Philadelphia, I'll tell you something I never thought about before. Water Commissioner Ben Jewell, we were on our briefing. It was sometime yesterday. All the time is running together. And we had all of our subject matter experts talking about their intergovernmental cooperation and collaboration with our U.S. Coast Guard, along with the Army Corps of Engineers. And Ben, when you talked about what was happening up in Trenton, in my mind, I'm just a layperson. This is not what I do. It's your specialty. I said, why does what's happening in Trenton have anything to do with Philadelphia? So we thank you all for all of that specialty work. This is One Philly in action. Super proud of our workforce, along with the leaders that you see standing here with me today. They're the folks who are making it happen. We're doing the best we can with what we have, and we now want to take some questions. Yes.
What's the legality of putting like cones, chairs in those spots? What do you recommend people do?
All right, I'm going to ask Commissioner Bethel, and I also want Director Williams to talk about this. And the police Commissioner Bethel says, okay, I'm going to let them respond here. Go ahead. Go ahead, bro.
One of y'all. Let you go, Commissioner.
Don't do it, y'all.
That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, we've been talking about it for the last since it started, right? I know it's challenging, right? You drive through and some of the people are digging out some very deep areas, and clearly through that effort they want to save that. So we understand that. Some of that is done in the neighborhoods and they accept it, but we are going to respond to the issues where folks have a complaint We are going to respond when there's conflict. We just ask folks to not get into conflict.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, that is the biggest key, right? And so, we're right now, I mean, we're working operationally, and we're going to respond if required. We're not riding through right now and pulling and ticketing, but as we receive complaints, we'll respond accordingly. All right.
We'll be on virtual learning. All of our young people have Chromebooks, and they're charged up and ready to go.
So listen, our crews are working 24 hours a day around the clock. So even if you haven't seen the plow, you may be asleep in the middle of the night and the plow comes through and you never see the plow. But when you look out the window, you will be able to tell that a plowing team has been through your block. In addition to that, Director Williams, I'm so happy that you showed this GIS of all of the 311 complaints that have come to the city of Philadelphia, that we have not forgotten about you. If we have not gotten there yet, know that they are on their way. We just cannot tell you about a very specific time, but just know they're working around the clock in order to get it done. And I'm asking for some grace and some patience with them as we get through this moment. I also just quickly want to affirm, and Dom, you said this, because sometimes we don't think about this, and I'm biased here because of pets. I've had a dog in my life since I was born, and so I'm biased. You let your dogs out to go to the bathroom or you walk them, please bring them back in the house. If the cat slips out the door, if you open it, please do your best to get them back in the house. Sometimes we have a tendency to think because they are animals that, you know, they don't get cold as well, and nothing could be further from the truth. So let's take care of our pets as well. Any other questions? Thank you. One more. Oh, good question.
So we've made several rounds throughout the storm. So it's not that we haven't touched the streets. Some streets they may have on that sheet been missed, but the majority of our streets, we have made several rounds, some 6, 7, 8 runs, because that storm was very difficult and challenging to fight. I will say this, that, you know, sometimes it's easier to have even more snow than having ice, right? Wow. Because the ice mixture slows us down. It makes it that much difficult. Cold temperatures allow the snow to linger much longer, and so it takes them that much harder to address. But we've touched the majority of those streets multiple times already. People have reported through social media. I've seen 3 plows come to my block 3 times, and we've go there a couple hours later, and snow has re-entered the area. So we constantly fight those areas. Majority of our streets have been hit multiple times. Some of the streets are inaccessible because we talked about parking and all of those issues. That's why we don't give a definitive timeline that was saying earlier, because we have to continue to assess those areas so that we can try to gain access to deliver the service and create the standard.
Oh, wow. Good question. Good question.
Yeah, so right now we've used approximately 10,000 tons of salt, and we will continue to monitor that. We know that is a regional matter that we're working towards and trying to connect with our vendors. But yes, we've used quite a bit of salt for this storm because of the cold temperatures that are coming. We did get help from Mother Nature today. I was so happy to see the sun, because not only is it refreshing to see, but in you're a snow person, you know that it's going to melt some of that snow and ice and that ice pack that's down there. And so when you get that cooperation, you can make progress. So that helps our whole operation.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. In closing, Philadelphia, we know that we're going to see record low temperatures on tonight. If you do not have to go outside, do not. If you do not have to drive, please don't. Do know that our Philadelphia International Airport is fully functional. You will not have to worry about traveling to work in the city of Philadelphia tomorrow if you work for the city of Philadelphia proper. If you are a student, you don't have to worry about traveling to school. You will do that virtually. And if you had any interaction with our courts, you know the First Judicial District, our courts will be closed tomorrow. Thank you so much, and let us all get back to work.